If I ask you how you are feeling, or if you're listening to this episode in the afternoon, evening, or night, how did you feel in the day or throughout the day? Do you feel the same way throughout the day? I'm sure the answer will be no. And that is true. We do not feel the same emotion or feeling the entire day. Our days are filled with multiple incidents that contribute to how we feel from within. But do we pay attention to our emotions and acknowledge them? I'm talking about emotional literacy. And that is what we will be talking about in this episode. Hi, I'm Alpana Dev and you are listening to Mother's Gurukul podcast. I'm a certified parent and kids life coach, lifestyle and parenting blogger, and a mother of two lovely kids who are my greatest source of inspiration. At Mother's Gurukul podcast, I talk about various aspects of parenting and share my tips and tricks to make your parenting journey smooth and beautiful. I also talk about some motivational topics that will make your life easy. So, let's learn together. Let's grow together at Mother's Gurukul podcast. Before we dive into today's topic and to understand it better, I would like you to visualize a situation. Imagine it's your birthday and you have been in high spirits since morning. You are heading for lunch with your friends, but you face a lousy traffic. For some time, you maintain your calm, but when cars are moving at an ant speed and your eyes are glued to the clock, slowly your morning happiness starts to convert into frustration. Finally, when you reach the venue, you are partially drained out. And for the first 30 minutes, you are talking about the bad traffic. Your friends may say, "It's okay, don't get upset, now you are here, let's enjoy." In such situation, our typical answer is, "No, I'm not upset. But why does this happen on my birthday?" Such a reaction is not uncommon. In situations like this, most of us react in this manner. We think that our circumstances are responsible for our behavior. But it is not true. How can we blame our circumstances if we say that we are the driver of our emotions? But the good news is, we can control our emotions so that they do not go out of our control. And that is what we call emotional literacy. To put it in simple words, emotional literacy is understanding our emotions and acknowledging them. Now, don't confuse it with emotional intelligence. Emotional literacy helps us recognize, label, understand, and act upon our feelings or emotions. On the other hand, emotional intelligence helps us understand, use, and manage them positively to relieve stress, communicate well, and empathize with others. It allows us to connect with our feelings, turn intentions into action. It helps us to make informed decisions, build strong relationships. It allows us to succeed at school and work and achieve our goals. People around us often sense and feel that we are mad or we are scared or upset or anxious, but we don't realize it. Or even if we recognize it, we don't admit it. Only if we know our feelings, then only we can control them. As the phrase says, when you can name it, then you can tame it. In total, we have 3,000 emotions. Yes, that many. And out of these 3,000 emotions, we use only 8 to 10 emotions daily. These 8 to 10 emotions are joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, and anticipation. Let's take joy and understand how it progresses. It starts with serenity. Now think of a holy place, maybe a temple, church, meditation place, or any place that gives you calmness. When we visit this place, we experience serenity. We feel calmness. Now, because of this serenity, we find joy when we visit this place. And when it continues for a long time, we reach a stage called ecstasy. The opposite of joy is sadness. Sadness starts from pensiveness, meaning we think deeply about something, often sad. It progresses to sadness, and when unattended, reaches its final stage, which is grief. Its presence will forever be a part of you. Now, there is no harm in cultivating more joy in our lives. That's what we all want. But do we really want to cultivate or hold on to sadness? Because that is unhealthy for our mind, body, and soul. So, when we don't want sadness in our life, when we want our life to be joyful, how can we stop the progression of these negative feelings? First thing is understand the importance of pause, the power of pause. We are so quick to react to any situation that we don't even pay attention to its intensity. If we pause before responding, see, I said responding, I didn't say reacting. If we pause before responding, we can immediately break the negative pattern. Now, this pause, it gives us the needed time that we need to think. It provides the clarity to our minds. When we pause, we put a temporal and mental space between stimulus and action. From a neurological perspective, this space enables a range of possibilities to be considered. And when we start considering these possibilities, that's where we find our answer. I will be discussing in depth about the power of pause in my future episodes, and I'm 100% sure you will be amazed to learn its importance. Once we understand the power of pause, the next step is action. When we hear the word action, we relate it to doing something, correct? But here, we are talking about the being state, not the doing state. We can just be with the experience and reflect on it momentarily before engaging the do circuitry of action. And this be state is what we briefly discussed in the previous point of power of pause. Name it and tame it. We can respond to our emotions only when we understand them. When we are joyful, we feel and we address it. That's why we celebrate the moment. Similarly, when we are sad, mad, angry, or frustrated, we should address that as well. Then take the pause that we discussed in the previous point. Consider the range of possibilities and then keep them from becoming big. It may look a little bit tough because it doesn't come to us naturally, but with practice, it is doable. At Mother's Gurukul, we talk about how parents can incorporate good habits in their child's life. So to promote this emotional literacy, first, when we are able to incorporate this in our life, like, incorporating the power of pause, incorporating responding instead of reacting, then only our kids can follow us. So to promote emotional literacy, don't ask your child, how are you doing? Instead, ask, how are you feeling? See the difference between feeling and doing? Because when we are saying how you are feeling, then you start paying attention to your feeling, to your emotions, what exactly you are feeling in that moment from within. Ask them how they can handle that situation differently next time. That will tell you their thought process. That will tell you to find that gap, that where communication is needed, where they need to take the pause. Describe times when you felt hurt, ashamed, or angry, and it teaches children that everyone has negative emotions. It shows them that these emotions are real and natural. Our brain is like a room. I always consider it like a room. And now consider light bulbs as our emotions. Too many light bulbs means our emotions. Too many light bulbs, there will be excess light, which will affect our vision. But if we light one light bulb at a time and adjust the lighting accordingly, now the lighting will be perfect and we can see things clearly. That's exactly what happens with our emotions. Our brain is filled with emotions. We need to pick which emotion we need to show when we are in a particular situation. If we start picking our emotions in a balanced way or in a matured way and thoughtfully, then things will not go out of control. If you feel that this is a easier way to explain your child about emotional literacy, please use this example. That's all for today. If you like today's episode and if you want to check out what all is there on Mother's Gurukul podcast, then don't forget to check out other episodes on this show. And I would love to know your feedback. If you are joining me for the first time, then thank you for tuning in. And yes, please do subscribe to the show. If you are listening to this podcast on iTunes, then I request you to please give your rating and review so that other people can also find us. If you or you know anyone who is looking for guidance in their parenting journey, I'm just a message away. Please feel free to reach out to me through my social media handles, Alpana_Dev on Twitter, Alpana Bapat on Instagram, and Mother's Gurukul on Facebook. You can also email me at mothersgurukulpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to read some parenting articles, then you can check my blog www.mothersgurukul.com. So I will see you soon next week. Till then, stay blessed, stay healthy. Happy parenting. Bye-bye.